I was referencing the work that was done building a multiracial, multi-faith coalition in Richmond. I would want you to travel with me to a storefront church on San Pablo Boulevard in Richmond, the basement of this church. And there gathered was about 50 black, white, and Latino people of faith from various congregations as we were talking about the onerous immigration laws, the towing of cars, the lack of opportunity for folks returning from incarceration. A dear sister stood up and in Spanish made a plea for her son who was facing deportation. A dear sister who was African American stood up and made a plea for her grandson who was incarcerated about 50 miles from Richmond. One in deep pain over the misassumption that her dear loved one, though might be an immigrant, was still a human being. The other in deep pain that her dear loved one, though incarcerated, was nonetheless a human being. These two women, after telling their story, moved to be in each other's arms. And they demonstrated for the rest of us there what the real work of challenging implicit bias, what the real work of working for justice looks like on an everyday basis as it is engaged by humble people of faith. And what they were able to create as a consequence of moving into each other's space had tremendous impact on the quality of life for everyone in that community. So I would encourage you to not underestimate your ability individually, but especially collectively, to, armed with this understanding, with this knowledge, to make incredible change happen. And I know that we are in Holland, Michigan, with all these beautiful tulips blooming on a beautiful college campus in an idyllic setting, and one might have the notion that the good people of Holland and the good people of this area shouldn't concern themselves with racial oppression and fighting for racial justice. But I encourage you that all of our faith traditions tell us that when any of us are suffering, that all of us suffer. And when any of us are experiencing injustice, all of us are experiencing that injustice. And ultimately, the responsibility for building a more just, better world does not just lie in the hands of your neighbors, but it's in your hands as well. And it does